Alright, welcome back guys to my review of WWE Friday Night Smackdown for July 27th, 2012. I liked the matches. I thought we had some great matches on tonight's show. That was really good. But it starts off with the new Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. He comes out, he thanks Christian's fans since they're the ones who voted for him to defend the title on Raw. So he thanks them, and Christian comes out, says he's getting his rematch tonight. A ref gets in the ring, and we get Christian versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title. Miz wins after a roll-up and pulling the tights, but it was a great match, great opener, a lot of time for this match, and I thought it was very good. A great way to start SmackDown. And then we get Ryback versus Jinder Mahal. For some reason, Jinder Mahal got a lot of offense on Ryback. I mean, this was way more than guys get on Brodus, which is the only reason I'm saying anything about that, because Ryback is supposed to be this big monster. And I mean, guys don't even touch Brodus Clay. And Ryback's out here selling for Jinder Mahal. I mean, Jinder was kicking his ass at one point. So I thought that was kind of strange. And Ryback mounts a comeback, and Jinder just leaves, and Ryback wins by countout. Why? I don't get that, but moving on, backstage we see Sheamus giving Daniel Bryan a wedding present. It's a book, How to Last Longer Than 18 Seconds, with a picture of him getting kicked in the face on the front. We get Sheamus versus Cody Rhodes. Another good match that got a lot of time. Cody throws Sheamus into the post, and Dolph comes out with his case to watch at ringside. They were talking something about Sheamus. How did Sheamus get two black eyes? I mean, how did that happen? The only thing I can think of was he got a code breaker, I think last week on SmackDown, and maybe that's where he got it from, but I didn't pay attention on Raw maybe and didn't notice it. I'm not sure, but I can't remember anything on Raw that would have given Sheamus two black eyes. But the code breaker is the only thing I can think of. But yeah, that was like a week ago. So Sheamus hits White Noise and a Brogue Kick for the win. Dolph acts like he's going to cash his case in, but he slowly backs away. He changes his mind. And then Chris Jericho comes out in a Dolph Ziggler t-shirt, throws Dolph in the ring. Sheamus Brogue kicks him. Jericho gets in the ring, hits the code breaker on him. And I have to say again, why? Why did you do this again? Like every single week, this guy is out there taking finishers and looking like a complete idiot. And I really don't understand the logic behind this. Okay, here's something weird. I didn't watch the show on television because I was doing something else, and my DVR is still screwed up, so I couldn't record it. So I just watched it on YouTube. And I'm not really sure what played on the US version and what I watched on YouTube, but the one I watched on YouTube was, they had some type of match called From the Vault, which was like DX versus Harry Smith and Tyson Kidd, the Hart Foundation. So the only thing I can think of is the US version had a crap load of commercials and recaps from Raw. Because when I was looking up the show to watch it, the full show was like an hour. This was the only version I found that was actually an hour and 22 minutes. So I was thinking this probably didn't air on the US version, which means the US version was an hour long, meaning the other hour was all commercials and recaps. That's pretty horrible. So that kind of does change my opinion on the show as a whole. I did enjoy the matches, but I mean, holy crap, an hour in a 2-hour show? That's pretty bad. So it was DX versus the Hart Foundation. I can't really complain about this. I'd much rather watch a match than recaps and commercials anyway. It was from SmackDown 2009. DX goes over. But I think I actually watched this on that DX DVD, like new DX DVD or something. It was on Netflix. I watched it one day. I didn't like it. I thought it was just a bunch of matches and like some lame-ass comedy. It was one of the worst WWE DVDs I've seen. So I didn't really care much for that, but I thought the match was alright. Then we get Antonio Cesaro versus Santino. Antonio wins after a pancake piledriver, thank God, For a second, I was very nervous that he was actually going to lose to Santino. And then it's like, again, why would you bring this guy in just to have him lose to guys like Santino? Like, why even bring him up to the roster in the first place? But thankfully, he won. Damien Sandow versus Yoshi Tatsu. Sandow just assaults Yoshi at the beginning. He's banging his head into the barricade thing and just attacking him. Vicious. Hits the neck breaker for the win. Cuts a promo afterwards telling the fans he is a martyr. And then he does a cartwheel. I thought that was pretty good stuff. On to the Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contender. It's Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, Kane, and Alberto Del Rio. This was pretty good. Del Rio gets Bryan in the armbar, but Mysterio hits a leg drop on him off the top rope. Later, Bryan gets Del Rio in the yes lock, but Kane grabs Del Rio's arm so he can't tap out. And the first thing I'm thinking watching this is, why didn't he just say I quit? Because the referee was like right there. Right? I mean, there are moves where your hands are not available to you, submission holds, and you have to say I quit. So why didn't Del Rio just say I quit? I don't know. I mean, I get what they're going for, and I thought it was a cool spot the way Kane grabbed his arm so he couldn't tap out. I did like it, but I do have to question why he didn't just say I quit. It's just something I have to do. So Ray hits a 619 on Del Rio and Daniel Bryan at the same time. He hits a splash on Bryan. Ricardo pulls Ray out of the ring. Del Rio steals the win by pinning Bryan instead. Del Rio is the #1 contender for Sheamus's belt. And that was it, really. It's kind of a toss-up for me. I mean, let's just say that the show was an hour long, and we got some good matches, but in that short amount of time, we already have Del Rio as the #1 contender again, and we already had to watch Ziggler get buried again. Just didn't make a lot of sense to me. And Ryback, for some reason, didn't just go out there and squash Jinder Mahal like he's supposed to do. It's not hard to make a guy look like Goldberg. You have him beat people really quickly. That's all you have to freaking do. And he's already selling for guys like Jinder Mahal. Brodus Clay looks like a bigger monster than Ryback right now. So I did have some problems with the show, but I also have to say Sheamus, Cody Rhodes, Miz, and Christian were good matches, and the Fatal 4-Way was good. I'm not crazy about Del Rio going over. I do like Del Rio, but come on, we've seen this already. Give us somebody new. Anybody. So those were my problems, but overall I did enjoy SmackDown this week. So yeah, that's it. Leave your thoughts on this show in the comments below, and I'll talk to you later, and thanks for watching. Bye.